Hello and welcome to the 26th episode of the Naina Redhu experience. We are now on iTunes. So if you're listening to this on iTunes as an audio only podcast, yay! Thank you. I honestly, for the life of me, don't really know why you guys really listen to the podcast or even come to watch the videos. But as I have been trying to do more of, I will not second guess myself or doubt my audience. There is clearly something of value here, or maybe you guys just really like me. In the 26th episode today, again, I'm going to be talking about something that is applicable to blogging and photography because I am a blogger and a photographer, but it would be applicable to any profession or career if you are independent, if you are an entrepreneur. Again, like I've said this 100 times, do not refer to yourself as a freelancer because a lot of people who have never worked on their own or have never been self-employed, or even some of those who have, they don't understand. They sometimes take the word very literally and they think that you work for free, which is ridiculous. They should do a little bit of research, but there are enough people like that, and at the end of the day you have to have your own work interests in mind. So as an independent contractor or an entrepreneur, one of the things that I have been noticing in the last 2-3 years that blogging and photography has really shot up in India as a career choice is that a lot of people write to me or meet me and they talk to me and they ask me, the first question they ask me is, how do we monetize this? Now, there's nothing wrong in monetizing if you are in a capitalist economy where goods and services are traded on the basis of money, then you have to know how to make money. And for example, for someone like me, I feel really good that I'm able to do it. I'm able to make money off blogging and photography, which are two things that I enjoy doing immensely. Like, I do them even if no one was paying me, which is why 90% of the stuff that you see on my blog is not something a client told me to go and cover. I would like it to be, but this is something that I do and I enjoy doing. Money is important. It is a crucial element of life because this is a capitalist economy. Money is not going anywhere anytime soon, as far as I can tell. But the approach that, when you go and you speak to someone you think is a name in the industry or someone you respect and you admire. 10 years ago, if I met someone who I admired and I was inspired by, or even now if I meet someone, the last question I ask them is, how do you make money? How did you start making money? My first question is, how do you do good work? How do you stay relevant? How do you continue to get work that keeps you fulfilled, for example? Money will, everyone says that, oh, you just do your work and money will come. It's not as simple as that. Advertising your work, putting yourself out there, these are all important elements of how you go from being a talented artist, for example, and to come to a point where someone wants to hire you and pay you for producing that art. So it's not as simple as काम करते रहो, keep doing your work and पैसा आ जाएगा, you'll get money. It doesn't work like that. There are a lot of very talented people who are living under a rock, who are not making money or who are not being able to sustain their lifestyles. I myself consider myself to be just a mediocre photographer, a mediocre blogger. One of my advantages is that usually I work harder than anyone else, and that is that's a good quality to have. Clients appreciate that. You end up doing a lot of work, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but you keep yourself engaged because you enjoy doing what you do, so you end up enjoying yourself a lot. So money, how do I monetize this? My first thought is, how long have you been doing this? Because this is not blogging, for example, look, unless you get into blogging where you have a chunk of money saved up and you start off with a very clear business plan and you have like 2 or 5 people on your team and you say, okay, we are going to do this, we are going to be the a lifestyle blog in India within the next 1 year, and you invest like 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs in that, then you can ask and say, okay, how do I immediately start monetizing this? Even then you won't. Because it's like a startup, right? So for example, if you're a startup, right? So for the first initial months or sometimes even years, you're using your own capital, right? So you start with your own money, and then you do the things that will eventually get you to a point where people start paying you to do those things. So it's the same with blogging and with photography. It's like when you go to a client and you say, hey, hire me, and they're like, what work can we see on the basis of which we will then hire you? So you need to have some work to show, and to have that work you need to have done some work. Fortunately, now especially if you start, you don't need paid work to start with. You can have personal work that you've done. If you've had a personal blog for a long time and you've been writing on that, so that's a writing showcase. You can show those pieces to someone and say, hey, I'm a writer, right? It's the same thing with photography. I'm having coffee. It's the same thing with photography, where you carry your camera with you wherever you go. I mean, you don't have to have a DSLR. You could be using your phone. Again, I might be coming to this from a place of privilege where I'm saying that, I have a camera now, I have a phone now. But when I picked up a camera for the first time, it was my dad's analog camera. So we didn't have money for an extra camera. I couldn't look at my parents and go, hey, mujhe camera chahiye. Buy me a new DSLR because I suddenly want to be this photographer. There were no DSLRs in those days, right? So now you have DSLRs. Now your mobile phones are as good as DSLRs. You don't even have to buy a top-end 50,000 rupee phone to get a decent camera. You can get a point-and-shoot camera for like 6,000-8,000 rupees, which is way cheaper than most of the smartphones that are there in the market that have a camera to speak of. So it's easier now, for you to start and for you to start making money. Yes, there are more people like us who are there online, so you have more competition per se. But if you look at it, everyone's trying to make a living, right? It's the same thing that why did everyone become an engineer, or why did most people want to be doctors or study for these certain streams? So there were a lot of engineers and MBAs, etc., and then new avenues opened up. So you could consider being a photographer, for example. So that's a new avenue, that's a new career choice. Now blogging is a new career choice. So yes, there are more people, but there are newer avenues of doing it. You don't necessarily have to be a blogger now. A lot of people who are influencers don't even have a blog. They're just, for example, on Instagram. So it's not that, there's so much competition. How are we supposed to make money? Clients don't want to pay money. That's not true that they don't want to pay money. It's just that a lot of people on the other side of the table don't understand what are they going to pay money for. What is the blogger charging for? Why is the photographer asking for a certain amount of money? That is a different question than saying, or a different argument than saying, oh, they're not ready to pay. They are ready to pay. They just don't understand what they're paying for and why they should be paying that certain amount. A lot of people, when they meet me, they say, oh, all this 100% advance business that you ask for, you are Naina, so you will get it. Hame thodi koi dega. And I'm like, when I started asking for an advance, even I was a nobody. I still consider myself to be a nobody. Trust me, no one knows who I am. The only people who know me are people who are on Twitter, the people maybe in metro cities, especially in Delhi. There is a very large India and a very large rest of the world beyond that, and they don't know me. So I am technically still a nobody, When I started saying that, look, I will not work without 100% advance, it was never about I suddenly considered myself to be this big shot with stature so that I could say this is what I want and my terms would be stuck to. Even now, there are a lot of people, when I say that, I don't work without 100% advance, they're like, but we don't do advances. So, well, we don't work together then. So, it's not like suddenly I say 100% advance and everyone is like, Hanji, haan, we'll give it to you. Because, first of all, it's a cultural thing. In India, especially, the level of trust is so low in cities. I'm not talking about smaller villages. where obviously a blogger probably has no, place. But even in a city, in metro cities in India, trust levels are so low that considering giving any advance is, अरे ये पैसे लेके भाग गई तो. People don't say this, some have said it also, but they think it. Like when I have, I hire smaller vendors to work around the house, or I have to get something printed. I pay everyone 100% advance. It is generally the person who believes that they don't have power, that they don't ask for an advance. The point is, all of us have power. If the person across the table thinks कि अरे ये पैसे लेके भाग गई, I'm also thinking कि अरे मैंने काम करके इनको दे दिया and then they don't pay me, then what? So they are worried that I will take their money without delivering the work and I will run away. And I am worried that I will deliver all the work, put in so much effort, and then they will not pay me. So this was born, this is not born out of dreams or nightmares. These are things that have happened. So there have been issues where I delivered the work and I didn't get paid. And then there are clients who have paid advance 50% maybe, and the person at the other side of the table didn't make any deliveries and just didn't do anything. So this is not ki kuch bhi you think of yourself, what do you think of yourself? So you're asking for 100% advance. I honestly don't think much of myself. But that's a whole another discussion. So this is a policy for me. I have realized that over the years, it is not worth the stress and the tension to worry about a new client who might or might not pay me. So my policy is simple. Everyone pays me 100% in advance and then I work for them. I can give you references of all my clients that I have worked with who have paid 100% advance and I have not run away anywhere, right? As a client, you might come to me and say, oh, we can put you in touch with all our vendors and they've always been paid on time. Well, no client has ever made that offer till date. If they do make that offer, maybe I'll consider it, I don't know. We'll see. But for now, this is a policy. It's not based on ego or what I consider my stature is. It's a policy. And the client might not have a similar policy, so that's fine. So that's one thing about the 100% advance. The other thing is that I get a ton of emails on a daily basis where people say, oh, we want a proposal. Yeah, you want a proposal, but for what? Yesterday I received an email where they disclosed nothing about the brand, nothing about the product, nothing about the location, nothing about whether they wanted to hire me as a blogger or as a photographer. And the last line was, please send us a proposal if you're interested. अरे बजट तो बताओ, करना क्या है, क्लाइंट कौन है, एनडीए साइन करवा लो, प्रोडक्ट क्या है, what the fuck? Like what do you mean? What proposal? Like even now, I mean, the email was yesterday and I obviously wrote to them really politely and I was like, okay, happy to send you a proposal, happy to work with new agencies, but may we know who the client is, may we know what the brand is, may we know what the product is, because may we know what the budget is. Because, if you come to me and immediately you tell me, okay, forget the brand, forget the client, forget everything else, forget deliverables, our budget is, for example, rupees 30,000. I'll be like, acha, theek hai, your budget is 30,000. So now you tell me, what do you want me to do? Then you'll be like, acha, we need a blog post. And I'll be like, bro, blog post not possible, okay? Then I'll be like, okay, but what is your brand? So you have given me something to work backwards on, right? I can retrofit something into that. Or you then come and tell me, oh, this is a brand and, I need to know what the brand is. Even if you say your budget is 3 lakhs, but the brand is a vaginal whitening cream, I'm not interested. So it's not just about the money. I talk about money a lot because at some level I feel sorted about my work, that I know I can deliver a certain level of quality, I can deliver a certain level of effort, I work really hard. So I know I will be over delivering at the end of the day. So my contention usually is that a lot of people like me, bloggers, photographers, independent entrepreneurs, get fucked over. And how? It's because we don't set our own standards. We don't have our own bottom lines. So you have to decide that, okay, from today on, I will only work with someone who gives me 100% advance payment. And if they don't do that, then we will not work together. You have to be comfortable saying no. Like I would say no to a fast fashion brand. Someone who gets their products made in Bangladesh, for example, in sweatshops. The working conditions are not good. There are a lot of other options available these days where I can buy local made in India stuff, or made in America stuff, or made in Thailand, which is produced in Thailand. It's locally made, so you support that. So I will never work with a brand, that's a fast fashion brand. So if at the get go you're telling me that this is a fast fashion brand, then I will, regardless of what your budget is, I will tell you that, look, this is not something I'm happy representing at all. So it will, if you then come and tell me, oh, but we'll pay you 30 lakhs, and I'll be like, but okay, for what? If you want me to go to your factory setup and do a photo story of how it is not a sweatshop, okay, great. That's a storyline I can live with. But if you are telling me that I need to wear your products, or I need to promote your products, and when I don't ethically agree with how you produce those products, then it doesn't matter how much money you're paying me. Look, I am at a stage where I believe that paisa aa jayega. There might be months, 2, 3, 4 sometimes, where there is no revenue coming in, which is fine. It's business. That's how it works. Supply and demand. Holiday season, people are out. That's how it works. And then there are months where I do projects which can tide me over till next year, and I don't need another project in the entire year. So money is important, yes. Once you have money sorted as an artist, you can have all that free space in your head where you can do things that you want to do. You can produce art or photographs, or you can blog daily without having to worry that, I haven't paid my rent. The third thing I want to talk about is that it's relationship based. When an existing client of mine who has been hiring me for the last 3 years comes to me and says, Naina, there is an emergency event that we just planned like 2 days ago. Something big has happened with the brand, and it's a huge announcement, and we don't really have time. But are you okay with an email contract, and can we pay you once it's done? Because by then we'll have time to... Yeah, sure, yeah. Because I have worked with them earlier. The last 6 times they've hired me, they've paid me 100% in advance. They've not bitched about, oh, how expensive is this? They've understood. They get it. I'm very happy to work with people who get it, because they're rare. They're secure in their own understanding of and working with an artist. They don't feel insecure that, oh, ye to apne aap ko kya samajhti hai, to hame bhi dikhana padega. And there are people who do that, which is petty. But, that's how it is. We're all human beings, and sometimes we do stupid things. I'm sure I have done lots of them. But you have to build a relationship. You can't land up in my inbox, for example, and say, we want you to do a blog post. These are our products. And let us know how much you will charge. And then when I send you my rate card, your response is, these rates are very, very high. These are so high, but why are they so high? What do you think of yourself? I have emails like that. And people write this and send it. Look, you're a stranger. I don't know you from Adam. You can go fuck yourself. It's just ridiculous. Would you walk into a shopkeeper's shop and say, अच्छा ये products हमें बहुत अच्छे लग रहे हैं, हमको दे दो. And the shopkeeper is like, हाँ ये रहा bill. And you're like, ये तो बहुत ज़्यादा है, हमें तो चाहिए products. And you're an asshole. अरे, you entered the store. You said you wanted those products. The shopkeeper didn't solicit you and said कि अंदर आओ, ये देखो कितना अच्छा है. Similarly, my work is there online. You like the work, you see it, you email me. Please don't be an asshole. Tell me, okay, look, we've never worked with bloggers earlier. What's the best way to do this? I might even get on a phone call with you. Don't call me up and say, oh, hey, I'm starting a new business, which is this online news aggregator, and we don't really know how this market works. So can we get on a call so that you can explain to us how this works? Yeah, sure. 1 hour phone call, consulting charges apply. Oh, what do you think of yourself? Arey? I charge for my time, boss. As must you. And if you think, someone who pays for someone's time might think that, but what if your time is not worth it? Well, then guess what? No one's ever coming back to me again, right? But if people continue to come to me, that means that there is some value being derived there. So it isn't as simple as saying, oh, you must charge for your work, charge for everything, har cheez ka 5 rupees, 25 rupees, whatever. It's not that. You have to value your work. And that value is tied to a lot of things that you do around to build a brand, to do good work, to do hard work, to have happy clients who like what you do. They might not necessarily like you, which is really fine. I mean, as long as you can have a decent conversation with them without alienating them or without them thinking that, oh my god, this person is such a complete asshole. And actually, even if you end up doing that once or twice and then you get feedback saying that, okay, maybe you could tone it down a little, take that feedback. I have received that feedback. I used to bitch about PR people a lot, and I have a lot of friends who work in PR, and they're like, maybe there are a lot of young people who call you who might not know. Again, that's not my responsibility, but how I respond to that is my responsibility, right? So you grow. So I have been an asshole. My God, I've probably lost count of how many times. But people have been gracious enough to give me a second chance. Not everybody, but some have. And you take that second chance and you make it work. And money is, see, sometimes brands don't have budgets. They still want to work with this blogger or this photographer, which is great. That means you're an aspirational brand. But if you do it for free, you are lowering your own value in their eyes and in the eyes of the market. You can lower prices based on some lower deliverables, but you have to have your baseline costs of doing business clear. If you don't have that clear, you will price yourself out of the market either on the top side or on the bottom side. Just because you're doing a shoot every day with a paid client doesn't mean that you're doing good work or that you're successful. You might be doing 5,000 rupees per day wala work where you're delivering 500 photos every day without editing them. I would never do that. I don't want my name on those kind of photos. You need time to develop your craft. You need time to build a relationship with the client. So someone might come to me and say, oh, our budget is only 30,000 and we want you to go do this 2-day shoot. And I'll be like, no, thank you for considering me, but it's not going to work because my rates are at least 10 times more than that, if not more, depending on what the deliverables are, etc. That client might end up hiring a photographer who does 30,000 wala work, but next time when they actually have a budget of 3 lakhs or 6 lakhs, guess who they're going to call? Because my quality of work is also different, and then obviously the rates that I charge are also different. Now, if I get one client for 6 lakhs, I'm sorted for 6 months. I don't have a massive lifestyle when I'm like, ooh, I need diamonds and I need to go on a cruise every 3 months and ooh. I have very basic requirements. I need a nice salad, I need coffee, I need internet, I spend time with my family. So you figure out what your cost of doing business is and then you take it from there. At some point you have to understand that if your work is not good, you're not going to get money. Mediocre, you will survive if you are mediocre, yes, but then you look at volume, then you look at building a team. You have to very clearly create distinctions when you look at people and you aspire to be like them. You might look at someone whose parents set up a family business and this person now has an inheritance and they don't need to be paid to have a certain kind of lifestyle. There are people like that and you can't begrudge them for that. It is just what it is. So someone who can afford to buy luxury bags, a new one every 15 days, and they have a very successful blog because luxury brands only want to work with them and then those brands gift them bags also. Well, why not? Those brands gift them bags because that person is a real customer and they actually buy bags from that brand. Now, so you have to understand these distinctions. And then there is someone like me who came from no inheritance, with no money, built it from scratch, and someone who's happy with 12 to 14 lakhs per year of income. I'm okay with that. I'm great with that. I don't need more than that. And my goals are not that I have to make 5 crore in a year or 25 crores in a year. Sure, it's fantastic to have fuck you money, but more than that, it's important to have the fuck you attitude also. You have to know when to say no. You have to build long-term relationships. You can't be an asshole basically. And you can be nice to people, but people know if you're being nice to them just because you have an agenda. So just hang out with people. You never know where business comes from. It's the strangest thing. Some people that you would have never thought would be able to ever give you any kind of benefit. They come to you with business that it surpasses all the revenue that you've ever made. So you never know. Just if you don't like someone, you don't zabardasti have to like them. But business is about relationships. You have to understand where the client is coming from. Money is a part of the equation, but so are 50,000 other things. So when I rant about, 100% advance and no budget and this and that, the point is, this is the most obvious one. How can you go to a service provider or an artist and tell them that you don't have a budget? Don't go to them, Baba. Just don't go to them. Oh, but we're trying to give you an opportunity. Is no. Them working with you might be giving your brand an opportunity. Like if I feature you on my blog, I consider that as me giving the brand an opportunity at some level. It works both ways. It's not, then you're not giving me money as a favor. It's a two-way transaction. For the money, there is value being provided. So this whole thing about, you keep talking about this, you rant about this, you're so money-minded. There is a lot of other stuff also. It's not limited to acha udhar paisa kitna mil raha hai, let's do it. Nahin, there are a lot of people who are ready to pay like shit tons of money, but that I might not want to do it because of it doesn't agree with my ethical values, and you should have those values too. You should decide that acha this is something ye mujhe nahi karna hai yaar, tumhare paas jitna bhi paisa hai tum rakho. And it's not about the ego thing here ki acha I don't like your face so I don't want to work with you. I mean, sure, you can do that also, but I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to talk about, because there was a lot of this, is money important or are relationships important? And I just want to say that they have their own place. You can't just say, okay, now I've been in this business for 12 years and fuck you, if you don't pay me so much, we're not doing this. There are people who do that and their businesses have suffered because of that. At the same time, it can't just be all about relationships. That, we've hung out 4 times together, so suddenly now we're best friends, and a friend is like, "Arey, tu to mere liye free mein kaam karega." As a friend, if you have a friend who is an artist, a photographer, an entrepreneur, you must make sure that you pay them full price. If the friend says ki "Arey nahi, I will do it for you in 50% discount," that is that friend's prerogative. But as a friend of an artist, please buy their art at full price. Please hire them at full price. Please recommend them at full price. You're a friend, you're not their fucking enemy. Enemies are people who will try to undercut you. Isse aadhe mein kaise kaam karwana hai, isse free mein kaise mein kaam karana hai, yeah? So if you have a friend who is an artist, please buy their art at full price. And people who do that, thank you. That is helpful. That is very, very helpful. You allow us not only to develop our craft further and become better artists, but you allow us to do that without worries, without worrying about rent, without worrying about how am I going to survive the next 6 months in Gurgaon. So thank you for buying my art. Thank you for buying it at full price. Thank you for not calling me up and saying, "Arey yaar, discount milega kya?" Thank you for offering to pay me what I charge for the work that I do. I'm happy to spend 6 hours with you getting drunk on beer. There is no charge for that if we get along and we are friends. But otherwise, please don't insult me and don't insult other artists. You can try, in which case you will end up on my what the fuck Naina column. I bought the domain. It's wtfnaina.com. So yeah, all the columns, they appear there. And thanks for listening. This was the 26th episode, and a long one at that. You can find this on the iTunes subscription can be found on iTunes. Oh god, no, wait, that URL is like super long. I made a short one. naina.co/iTunes. So if you go to naina.co/iTunes, you will be able to see the podcast on iTunes. And if you go to youtube.com/naina-redhu, that's the video version of this. If you want to look at my face and me drinking coffee, etc. Wait, let me have more. And if you have anything you'd like me to talk about, if you have any questions, I am more than happy to talk about those. And till next time, I will be, we're going to Magnetic Fields. Jameson is taking us, Jameson India. Looking forward to that. Vishesh will be there, which is great because I don't know who else is coming for that trip. 3 days of music and all, and it's at this really amazing Alcesar Mahal. I mean, I've never been there. I've seen the website. It looks pretty cool. And it'll be cold, but we'll be staying in a tent. I hope there'll be heating there. So that's happening from the 9th till the 11th of December. So I will be recording the next episode before I leave for that, I guess. Looks like I might be doing this consistently after all. Let's see how this goes. Thank you for listening. 26th episode of the Naina Redhu Experience. Bye!